Zaragoza Air Base is a base of the Spanish Air Force located near Zaragoza, Spain. It was located 16 kilometers west of Zaragoza, 270 kilometers west of Barcelona, and 262 kilometers northeast of Madrid. Zaragoza is a major base for the Spanish Air Force.Ala 15 flies 2 squadrons with 18 McDonnell Douglas F, A-18 Hornets each. Today it also functions as Zaragoza Airport. The U.S. Air Force left after it had been asked to move out in April 1992. Origins. The construction work on Zaragoza Airport began in September 1954 with the enlargement and improvement of the existing Spanish Air Force base. Located there, United States Navy engineers upgraded the facility for temporary or intermediate use as a war standby base. The first U.S. construction project included strengthening the existing 3,024 meters runway and adding 304 meters overruns at each end. Work on a new concrete runway, 61 by 3,718 meters, with 61 meters overruns at each end, began in 1956 and was completed in 1958. Zaragoza Air Base was a NASA alternate space shuttle landing site. Typically this would be used as a transatlantic abort landing site, although fortunately this was never needed during the shuttle program. To be chosen as a TAL site, an airbase has to meet a number of requirements. For starters, its runway needs to be a minimum of 7,500 feet long. The weather around the base should typically be good landing conditions for the shuttle. The base also must have a military-grade tactical air navigation system, and be adaptable to special guidance devices NASA uses with the shuttles. 3794th Air Base Group. Zaragoza Air Base was transferred from the control of the Joint United States Military Group Air Administration, 16th Air Force, to the United States Air Force Strategic Air Command on 1 July 1957, with the facility providing operational support for SAC Boeing B-47 Stratojet Alert Force dispersal. Zaragoza was under SAC's 65th Air Division. Support continued for B-47 operations until 1 July 1964, when Zaragoza AB was placed on standby status with the withdrawal of the B-47 from active service. Zaragoza AB was further reduced to modified caretaker status on 1 January 1966 when 16th Air Force was reassigned to the United States Air Forces in Europe. USAF assigned the 7472D Airbase Group as a caretaker organization to the facility. 431st Fighter Interceptor Squadron in 1958. The 431st Fighter Interceptor Squadron moved from Wheelus Air Base, Libya, arriving at Zaragoza in September with North American F-86D Sabre and an air defense mission. On the 28th of September 1960, the 431st transitioned to the Convair F-102 Delta Dagger and was transferred to the USAF 86th Air Division at Ramstein Air Base, West Germany on 1 July 1960. This transfer was made in order that all USAF fighter assets in Europe could be concentrated in one command. The 431st FIS operated the F-102S until 23 April 1965 when it transferred to the 8th TFW at George Air Force Base, California. Transition to the F-4C and was reflagged as the 431st Tactical Fighter Squadron, 874th Aircraft Control and Warning Squadron, was assigned to the USAF 17th Air Force, 65th Air Division. Provided general radar surveillance over Spain. The squadron was headquartered at Zaragoza AB beginning in January 1959. The squadron operated a site near Elizondo, Spain, one of 7 radar sites in Spain operated by the 65th Air Division, which provided early warning of unidentified aircraft and controlled NATO airspace over the region. The 874th ACN AMP-W and other geographically separated radar squadrons in Spain was supported logistically by the host units at Zaragoza. 406th Tactical Fighter Training Wing. In February 1970, Project Creek Step called for the build-up of Zaragoza Air Base as a USAF weapons training site, with actual use of the Barcelona air-to-ground bombing and gunnery range northwest of the base began in March. With the closure of Zaragoza Air Base, Zaragoza returned to active status on the 19th of February 1970 with the activation of the 406th Tactical Fighter Training Group. The 406th Group became the 406th Tactical Fighter Training Wing on the 21st of July 1972. Although the 406th had no permanently assigned aircraft, the wing provided support to all USAF tactical aircraft which used the Zaragoza range, as well as deployed second TAC units, as well as Allied NATO units. Beginning in September 1972, the 406th also operated the USAF Tactical Forces Employment School, and in May 1976, began operating the USAF Instructor Pilot School. Weapons training detachments were principally F-4 aircraft, although F-111s used the wing's ranges for a short period in 1974. A new Navy A-7s used range facilities in June 1974. During November 1976, the 406th TFDW began full maintenance support of ANSAC AC-135 Stratotanker detachment on a permanent basis. On the 12th of September 1977, another facet was added to the wing's training operations when it conducted the first dissimilar air combat training missions with USAF and U.S. Navy aircraft. In 1979, 2 significant events took place which had an effect on the wing's operation. The first was the closing of the Instructor Pilot School in July, due to broad changes in USAF's mission and budget restraints. The second event took place in February when the 406th began to implement the production-oriented maintenance organization concept. Headquarters USAF designed PLOMO to establish a maintenance management system which would enhance sortie production by improving the utilization of maintenance personnel. On the 1st of January 1980, the support mission expanded when the 406th assumed responsibility for various functional areas in support of the 4 USAF Troposcatter communication sites at Humoso, Menorca, Sola, and Images. Foremost among the accomplishments of the 406th TFDW during 1981 was the preparation and planning for reception of the F-16 weapons training detachments which began in 1982. The 313th TFS of the 50th TFW, from Hahn Air Base, Germany, flew the first European F-16C training flights deployed to Zaragoza to the Barcelona weapons range, starting in late January 1982. The 512th TFS of the 86th TFW at Ramstein AB recorded its first F-16C fighter deployment to the Barcelona range on 3 April 1986. This represented the initial use of the C-model F-16 aircraft at the range since the newer F-16s were introduced to the European theater. On 15 October 1986, heavy rainfall resulted in flash floods across the base, causing heavy damage to facilities and base homes. As much as 15 inches of water and mud flooded into many facilities, causing nearly $1 million in damage. Base personnel as well as temporarily assigned weapons training detachment personnel joined in the massive clean-up effort. Unfortunately, no injuries occurred. In a show of strength and comradeship in overcoming obstacles, Zaragoza also earned the prestigious USAF Base Appearance Award during that same month. For the rest of the 1980s, the 406th continued to provide support for USAF crew training and range training exercises. August 1990 ushered in a period of intense activity, as the 406th and Zaragoza provided major air and ground support for Operation Desert Shield, conducted in response to Iraq's invasion of Kuwait. Thousands of military personnel and tons of equipment passed through Zaragoza en route to the crisis in the Middle East. The base and the wing continued to act as a major aerial port, providing support during and after Operation Desert Storm, subject to the same provisions requiring the removal of other units from Spain. The 406th began efforts to end its operations and return Zaragoza to the Spanish government in 1992. The use of the training range ended in December 1991, followed by the turnover of base operations to Spain in April 1992. The 406th Tactical Fighter Training Wing was inactivated on 1 April 1994 when the U.S. Air Force ended its presence and returned control to the Spanish government. 21st century. Today the Spanish Air Force's.Ala 15 flies 2 squadrons of F/A-18 Hornets from the base. Other units on base include Agrupación de la Base Aérea de Zaragoza, Ala 31, Escuela de Técnicas de Seguridad, Defensa y Apoyo, Grupo Norte de Mando y Control, Escuadrón de Apoyo al Despliegue Aéreo, Centro de Farmacia de Zaragoza, Unidad Médica Aérea de Apoyo al Despliegue, Oficina Delegada de la DFR en Zaragoza, Centro de Movilización N3, Regimiento de Artillería Antiaérea en 72 del Ejército de Tierra, IV Batallón de la Unidad Militar de Emergencias, in standby status, 1 July 1954 to 19 February 1970. Major units assigned 7603d Air Base Squadron, 9 January 1956. Redesignated 3974th Air Base Squadron, 1 January 1957. 431st Fighter Interceptor Squadron, 6 September 1958 to 18 May 1964. 3974th Air Base Group, 1 May 1958 to 30 June 1965. 874th Aircraft Control and Warning Squadron, 5 January 1959 to 1 January 1965. 7602d Support Wing, 1 March 1 July 1960. 7472d Combat Support Group, 1 June 1964 to 30 June 1970. 406th Tactical Fighter Training Wing, 1 July 1970 to 30 April 1992. Det-9. 67th Aerospace Rescue and Recovery Squadron, 3 UH-1N helicopters that provided rescue support for the bombing range, discontinued in August 1988.